Alright, welcome back to the game of the day. I'm actually recording this one directly after the previous Kylo one, because we've done 3 in a row, so I want to show you a different map. I'm going to show you Forest of the Niflhel. This is actually my favourite map at the moment. I've talked about this quite a lot recently, but one of the main reasons I'm actually still on this build, and I enjoy this build so much, is because it has access to super speed, which allows you to do a lot of cool jumping puzzles and kite spots and things. Forest of Niflhel, to me, is the one loaded with the most out of all the maps, and it's really, really fun. It's also a great map to learn about and to demonstrate watching for lines of sight, and how to watch enemy respawns, and how just where you hold your camera can make you a better player. Hopefully this game will show a bit of it. It's a pretty easy win for my team, so it's not like the match itself will be entertaining, but hopefully we can teach you a few things as we go through. And yeah, let's just play it through and see how things go. So we're starting here on the blue side. The node that's next to us is an extreme... So basically both of the side points on this map, if you play a 1v1 build, are really, really good for kiting around on and sustaining 1v1s, from escaping from people who come in to outnumber you. This is like the best map in the game, in my opinion, for that sort of thing, just because there's so many interesting bits of geography around. So here, immediately, you'll notice one thing out of the gate that I do. We're all running from this route up from the keep, spawn up to the keep, and you'll notice that I'm using the free camera option to continue walking at max speed in one direction, but I'm actually looking over here. And why I'm looking over here is because the red spawn, enemies that are crossing and hoping for a 1v1 to delay us getting the cap or whatever, they're going to come from this path, okay? It won't be evident as a new player, but it's very evident when you get a little bit more used to the map. Their main route is through this section of the map here called Beach, and they're going to run through and up this path, which I'm looking down right now. So some very smart players will cover this entire journey with stealth. Most won't. Most aren't even that concerned if you see them, because a lot of people won't even do this. So I'm watching in this direction. A lot of the time people won't. So we'll all just zerg off on the left, and then they can happily cross. So I'm watching because I want to know, A, if someone is pushing. If I notice someone is, I can ping to my ally. By the way, my ally can also be watching this from the node. If they hold their camera in a very specific place, they can be watching as well. But I can ping a warning to my ally with the new ping things that came in like a year or so ago. But also, it might be someone quite vulnerable that's crossing that I can burst. I don't want to take a 1v1 on the road, but I can say if it's a warrior crossing, which is very common. I mentioned on yesterday's game of the day, warriors can cross because they like to do 1v1s at the moment. They're very strong in the side node meta right now. What I can do, especially if it's a warrior, is take a burst and push him below 50% health pretty much instantly, which procs one of his endure pains. And that means that my friend over on the close node has a much higher chance of winning that. On the next balance patch that comes in, they're going to increase the cooldown on those kinds of passive things as well, making that an even stronger play for me, because he'll go on cooldown for like 80 seconds or whatever it is when he trades it down, which is really, really good. Or I can just blow other defensives, dodges and stuff, and it might mean we get something. I also run the chance of a friend of mine, remember this is all solo queue that I'm talking about here, I ran the chance that a friend of mine might help out a little bit too, and we can turn that into a quick kill on the roads, which is great. If you score the kill on the crosser, have him rot here, you not only get close for free, but you're also going to outnumber them at the mid-fight, so it's all just very good. And this entire thing I'm talking about here is all preempted just by using your eyes and looking down this road as you move along, instead of just like brainlessly walking past. So here we verified that nobody's crossing. So it's fine. Now Mesmer's is going to get free cap. Mesmer's very fast, so the Mesmer can drop a portal and go to mid, or hold the portal and then port out of mid later. So here, what you're actually watching is the mid fight already. You'll notice both my Necromancers and my Hollow are going up around the ramp to the node. I'm sticking around the front here. What I'm actually hoping to do, I do this in a lot of my games, I'm hoping that these guys have seen that I'm doing this, and what they'll do is attack me, because I'm super squishy. If I can get 2 of them to come at me, it's really good, because it sort of guarantees my friends, who I don't know how brainless they are or whatever up the top, it guarantees that they get an easy fight up there. I am confident enough, because I still have Lightning Flash, I have lots of super speed, I have lots of evade chains, that if I can pull just a bit of aggro for a little while, it will help my guys get a foothold on the node. I like to do this more from a psychological standpoint of I don't know how good my friends are. And once they're on the node and they've got it, they will actually start fighting. A lot of players in Conquest all they care about is the node at first. So I like to do this because if I can draw a bit of aggro. Also, from behind, I can start bursting them. If so you guys should know at this point about the very notorious Firebrand Scourge team fighting combo at the moment. In solo queue, a lot of Firebrands aren't very good, and so if I can sneakily burst one of their Necros down, the Firebrand might just zerg onto the node and he won't save his friend. And that's also really good. Also, Necromancers are super vulnerable right at the start of the game because they don't have any life force just yet, so they can't convert into barrier and stuff. So really, this is just a very strong play for me. I'd rather do this than walk into quite narrow field up here and get like AoE down where there's a very clear line of battle being drawn. Here I can sort of go around the side. My only risk is someone coming from beach, which I'm fairly certain they won't because I've already looked from the camera movement earlier, or someone else coming here later once their close point's capped. But for now, I just sort of get some easy aggression. So we'll see what we do. I don't remember this game exactly. They move up to the node so fast, I guess I decide that I don't want to take the fight there. I come up round the back with my friends. Obviously, the objective here is the mid fight. We've got a hollow here. He dodges. I don't know whether he actually meant to dodge the plasma beam there. It looked like a random dodge in all honesty, just to close a gap, but he gets an amazing dodge there on my burst. His positioning is also incredible here too because he's obstructing and line of sighting with this statue. Again, I don't know whether it's intentional. If it is, he's playing godly. Probably not because now he's walking back round. He's been condied by my Scourges super hard, so he goes down. Obviously, we're watching and aware that we could FGS right now. And you can see that I actually held the precast for a while. I dropped the FGS, actually, I would hope I did. Yeah, you notice the Fire Great Sword's down here. I drop it on the body, which just gives you that extra little bit of 1,000 to 2,000 damage just before you roll your big stuff. If there's a res going on, that can be the difference between life or death. You'll notice my Scourge, I've not really contributed yet. My Scourges have scored 2 kills and I've not contributed. I push all the way forward. I noticed that my guy, my Hollow, is proper overextended and he's low. So what I'm doing right now is essentially peeling for him. I use the 4 on the ramp, which goes well over them. Is a bad play from me, really. He's down. I walk over to his body. I go for a res, but I don't even need to because they've already got him up. We score a kill. We're probably going to cleave over these bodies with the 5, use the 3 back through. We can hold a res or take a rally. Either is pretty safe right now. We position ourselves here so that our autos pierce through one body and hit the other before going back into another 3. We cleave back over them. I'm playing a little bit risky here. It depends how conservative of a player you are. I could have taken a res, but I think the double rally's fine. And yeah, really easy mid-fight win, really easy. So what's happened here is quite cool. The guy that took the close saw that his team was being annihilated, and instead of rotating into suicide, he came over here for the decap. Really, realistically speaking, the guy that got the decap here, the enemy player, what he really wants to do now is leave, because my guy's on respawn, and we'll just go back and... I'm going to go plus that now, right? So I could play aggressively or passively here. I'm going to play, aggressively or defensively. I'm going to go for the more defensive play. Now, here's another thing that I'm using in terms of like where I hold my camera and what I do. My aim right now is to go back to close to deal with this very obvious cross that was going to happen. I could go through the same gate that I went through before. However, I'm taking beach route. And what I do by taking this route through the beach is when the enemy team respawns on reds, they might think, oh, this is a fight I can go for. And so if they do that, I'll see them here at beach. Okay, so lines of sight. This is kind of what I want to show you. And look at where I've got my camera. My goal is to go back here, but my camera is looking to the opposite side of the map. My camera is looking to red spawn right now to see if anyone's coming. As I turn the corner, I'm still looking back up at their spawn. Okay? Because that's what this is all about right now, seeing who comes up. And look, I get a Scourge on the road, so I could help my guy with his 1v1, but a Scourge on his own, a staggered Scourge, pretty nice stuff. Really weird lightning flash there. I don't know why I did that. He was obviously walking towards me. We go, so by the way, a small little combo there that I haven't been talking about, just a little rotational thing. I'm in air autoing. I dip into Earth for a second to take the Arcane Blast, which always crits, thus reopening air, but at the same time also lands in a mob on him, so I can get my other stuff in as well. So very simple little thing you'll find fresh air Ellies do. Look at this. He's not actually hit me. This is another reason why, by the way, the cleansing heal skill isn't even that necessarily versus Scourges and whatnot, because the play style here really doesn't mean you eat much Condi Cleave anyway. So he goes down. I dodged there. This evade frame you saw was because I noticed there was a green thing above the Necro. Really well telegraphed ability. That's his fear. I didn't want to get feared. So we dodged the fear. We spike him down. I'm not interested in fully killing him. He can rot there on the roads. It's a little bit risky rotting him there on the roads because more respawns might come and res him, which is why I look back there just in case someone was doing so. And now I go for the boss. So this is kind of, like, I think too notorious of a mechanic at this point. Most established PvPers hate anyone ever going anywhere near boss. There are times where you can take boss. There are even times where you can 2v1 boss. This, I would say, is one of them. We have a solid double cap. We have one of them on respawn. This is closing, and mid will need to be defended, but we can come up round to the back of mid later now. Rotating in and kill this boss is very good. You'll notice, so killing a boss is worth 25 points. You'll know that that's worth as much as a bell on Capricorn. But Capricorn becomes increasingly more worth value, though, as it goes forward, so it's kind of debatable. The attribute points we get from killing these isn't worth very much. I think the devs should buff it, so it feels a bit more like, say, Baron in a MOBA game or whatever. But, yeah, we take the kill. And now I'm rotating back towards where that Necro was. My Necro's going up to mids. And all we have to do is now just reinforce mid before they get the neutralization, and we should be pretty much fine. Here, so there's a Rev. What I'm doing here is Revs can blink with Shiro. I see he's on Shiro. I don't actually know whether this works, but I'm standing on this post. I think he would still be able to blink to me because I'm not high enough, but it might negate a couple of auto attacks. So that's why I'm on these, and particularly that Grave. I blink up when I notice he's not into me. I get obstructed there. That's a classic obstruct. I should learn better than that by this point, but whatever. So we just pressure him. We kill him before any kind of infused light goes off, which is his heal. Here we can now start focusing on the Scourges. We've got our guys down. That's why I preempt the Dragon's Tooth over our guy. We don't want our guy to die here, so we take the rally. Well, so there's a few things going on here. Originally, I wasn't too keen on this because I didn't think that my Necro had got a hit on him anyway. Right? Like, we literally killed him as he came up here. So you have to actually hit someone to get the rally. So as I don't know whether he did in the end, but interestingly enough, the enemy Rev hadn't even tagged our guy. So what this Rev could have done, let's rewind the footage here for a second. Maybe there was a mistake on the Rev's part here. So the Revenant is in down state. Yeah, the Revenant could easily have auto attacked my Necro here, which would have meant that the Rev could have rallied. See, he's in range. I'm pretty sure that's in range for the Revenant auto attacks. So he makes a mistake. You can just see he's angry. He's not doing anything. All he had to do was land a couple of autos, and when my Necro dies, he would have rallied. Look, he was really close. He even got ported. Finally, he takes an auto. I don't know, maybe it didn't crit or something. But yeah, my Necro dies, and he doesn't rally. So pretty gross there. Even grosser here on the team fight. Pretty much a mistake from me, by the way. I should have finished the Rev off quicker. He's getting res long enough that they'll probably get the next rally. I've now got the Condis on me. I actually go down. Pretty bad mid-fight, and I can not squarely blame it on myself, but largely blame it on myself. Probably from playing too passively with the Rev in the first place, towards the Graves and stuff. Yeah, I probably lost that for us. Obviously, mistakes all around. But so there, you'll notice I actually vapor onto the node because I don't want to be rotted. So if that Necro wants to leave the node and go rotate around and stuff, he's got to kill me, otherwise I'll decap it in downstate. That's something you can do, isn't it, Ellie? Always just try to get on the node. Sometimes you can try and pull further away from the node, or take self-reses, but I guess this video is probably not the time to talk about that. But yeah, so we respawn, we watch for crosses again as we go. If someone was crossing that and I get back cap from that, that's a horrendous play. So here we got a Hollow. We knock him down immediately, chain him into another stun, take the Immob. He can't get towards us. He's in Photon Forge. We know that he's got his 4. We're holding our Reflect until he uses it, which is now. We take just lots of damage. Hollow is extremely easy to kill on Fresh Air, by the way. Extremely easy. Probably my best matchup in the whole game. I'd hazard I only lose maybe 20% of them. So we put him down again. We're not interested in killing him. We might even bait a beautiful res here, which we can then absolutely devastate them all in. Mesmer's having a hard time getting away right now. We kill him. That's 2 kills on the road. The mid fight is lost. I look at now in the top middle. I see that there's 2 Scourges up there and my one friend dead. But we've got 3 players. And the Scourges are still going to be a little bit low. That FGS was kind of annoying for me. We take a nice Phoenix there. Phoenix we don't get too often. So we put 1 Scourge down. I don't dodge his downstate fear, and I think he might even get me in super speed, which is really gross. If they get the res off, it's my fault. They do, and it's my fault because I didn't dodge the downstate. We retarget again. We take the knockdown. They're both dead. I'm looking to rotate off. And so now the ultimate goal is going to be to return to close, right? Because that's being harassed a little. But you'll notice, again, I don't go immediately too close. We pay attention to beach. Because remember, just before that mid-fight, what do? We killed a Mesmer and a Hollow. So they're both potentially going to be crossing as well. So I look towards beach, and what do you know? There's a Mesmer. I'm looking at the Mesmer. I'm following the Mesmer coming back. The Hollow is at far point. The enemy's close. So we don't have to worry about him. So we walk towards, and we notice that the Mesmer isn't alone, but the other guy's been pushed off, and we can take the Mesmer fight. He's in distort, and he doesn't really see us. I come up here. I must be just sort of joking around right now. I don't really even have much pressure. There's a little jumping puzzle that might be fun to show you guys, though. Pretty good kite spot, depending on your class. If you can pressure, it's really nice. So the Mesmer goes down. My Scourge is down. This time there's no point to race for a rally or anything. So if you do get an opportunity like that, quite often it's better to take the res, because they actually get back up with more health than if they rally almost defeated, okay? Another thing there, I actually cleaved the Mesmer, could have left him. We take another boss, which I'm fairly comfortable doing, but I'm watching behind me all the time. You see these constant camera swings? It's because I don't want any neutralizations, right? There's no such thing as just easily killing one of those bosses. You're always watching, making sure that nobody crosses, even if you've not been thinking very well about who's dying and when people are respawning. Another thing, by the way, about instantly killing a Mesmer out like that, Mesmers are extremely powerful in the down state since the Phantasm changes. Their Rogue, which is their down state 3, can crit for like 10k. It's obscene. And if they run Chrono Phantasma, it might even come back, I'm not sure. So there you saw as well in the background, another cool thing visually. You saw that actually a Rev was on beach, was thinking about crossing, but saw that I saw him. And instead of fully crossing, he deceived me and went up to keep. So cool little mind games. This is some of the fun stuff that Conquest has, thus meaning I kind of waste a little bit of time here expecting a Rev cross, as you can see obviously in the footage. Here's an interesting moment. It might look like I'm faffing about a lot. So I don't really want to bail up from our close nodes, and I've got some confidence they'll be okay here, but I don't want to bail from the close node too easily. But I've watched and waited long enough that now I'm like, yeah, nobody's crossing, it's fine. And we see this Rev here, right? So the Rev is moving up, and we see the Mesmers here. They're all going for the mid-fight. So to me, in my mind right now, I really want this mid-node. I really, really want it. But you'll notice that as I rotate away, someone else on my team pings a tick over at close. So I know that they've just scored some kills. I know that the two most recent respawns are up here. I know that someone just died here. So, what goes through my mind now is, do I trust my friends? I really want to help them at the mid-fight, but someone on my team is telling me to return. If it's this guy telling me to return, it's because whoever just killed him is crossing across the whole map. But here's the thing. This guy just died, so he's going to respawn, and he can watch close on respawn. So to me, the right play is to go mid for me, because my respawning ally has got close anyway. Like, I think it's a waste of time to go back, but I get the green ping. In a weird way, I don't know. I feel like if there's someone intelligent on my team who's telling me to do that and I ignore it, they'll get really pissed off. So I actually do listen and I go back because of the green tick. I don't think this is a good play though, and I don't think it ends up being a good play. We'll watch. Okay, luckily it does because the Hollow follows up. But I could have been attacking that Hollow already, right? There's no point to run all the way to the node. We take the free damage, right? So we take the Hollow. The Hollow knows that he's got to kill me as well, because otherwise he just dies on the node because he's not totally brain dead. So he pushes for me, but now he's outnumbered because of, guess what, the respawning guy I said a second ago. So so the Hollow is forced to disengage. Super low Rev near me as well, by the way, here. Here we blink up towards him, and really that's because line of sighting is such a problem here. We leave his body down. He pulls me into him, which is kind of nice actually to do that really quickly. Rev is super low. And yeah, we're just going to win now. We've held the 2 cap for probably, what, 3 mid-fights straight. They're just all too squishy, and they haven't managed to soften us up to be able to do anything. The Scourges have been extremely dominant, I think, in these team fights on this. They only lost, like, 1 real big engagement. So here I go towards close, but my decision to go... towards far, sorry. I'm headed towards far because there's nothing else to do on the map. But as I rotate there, what's my decision? To go through beach again. So I think this is a really good thing for people to see and notice. A lot of people, they think conquest maps are, like... The only relevant part of a conquest map is where the nodes are. But that's so not true. Like beach, there's like so little going on in terms of the actual objectives. So here we burst, we see infused light, we do 0 damage during infused light, we take in a mauve, we burst him again. And we kill him on the road. Basically, what you just saw there was a 1v1 for close. But it didn't happen anywhere near the close node, did it? It happened here at beach. And it's just because of the strength of intercepting and watching where people go. That's really all it is. And it means that a lot more of these maps, that the higher... I'm not saying I'm a super high tier player, by the way. But I'm saying the higher tier player you become, the more of these maps become relevant. And the more interesting things are, as people learn to kite away from them more, as people learn to intercept more. And so, yeah, we take a fight there. We get top kills, as is expected from our role. 200,000 damage, that's it. Very squishy game, only 200,000 damage. We picked up a res as well, not too much else interesting, and a plus 11 rating there as I move up to Plat 3. So there you go, that's a game on Forest. A little bit of why I like the map so much. You saw me jump on a grave, you saw me climb around almost unnecessarily at close. Yeah, hopefully more Forest games will reveal more of the interesting jumping and kiting around you can do. That's the game of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.